It's that time of the year again when everyone's creating their vision boards, making their New Year resolutions, making their lists of goals. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to actually achieve all your goals and not give up on them, because we all know the situation when New Year starts and you feel so inspired, but then 3 weeks in, you lose the motivation because motivation is temporary. We're going to talk about that later in the video. So you lose the motivation and you give up, and you end up not achieving any of your goals. And by the end of the year, when you look at your goals that you set for yourself for that year, you look at your New Year resolutions, you feel so disappointed. We're not letting that happen this time. Behind me, you can see my 2025 vision board. I know the colors are now kind of washed off because it was facing the sun. But this was my first year creating a vision board, because before that, I didn't really believe in vision boards or New Year resolutions, because when I was younger, I would set all these crazy goals for myself for New Year, new year, new me, and then I would end up not achieving any of those goals. So I was like, what's even the point of setting those goals if I am not going to be able to stick to the plan? But as I was getting more into, self-development and self-growth and manifestation and all that good stuff, I decided to give it a try, and around 60-70% of what you can see here had come true. So in this video, I'm going to share with you everything that worked, everything that didn't, and what I will do different this year. First, I want to mention the mindset. This is my year. There is this trend going on TikTok where people who said 2025 is my year share all the failures that they faced throughout the year. And I think this is really about the mindset. If you have the right mindset, every year is your year. I saw a comment, I think it was on Pinterest. A girl shared her opinion on this and I really loved it. So I wanted to share with you this mindset that every year is your year if you decide so. 2024 could have well been the worst year of my life. I found out that my ex of 9 years had been cheating on me, and I could wallow. I could shut myself out from the world, but I didn't. I used that as an opportunity for growth. And 2025 I view as the year of rebirth, and 2026 is the year of me fully stepping into my power. So this is really about your perspective. And just because you say 2026 is my year doesn't mean that 2025 wasn't your year or all the years prior to that. Last year was your year. This year is your year, and all the years that follow up will be your years. When I was creating this vision board last year, I noticed that I kept limiting myself. I kept thinking, well, this is too much to ask. It's not possible to achieve all of that in just 1 year, so I will leave it for next year. Hear me out. Ask for more. The universe is not on a budget. The universe gives to those who ask. Maybe the reason why you are not getting the things that you desire is because you're too afraid to ask for them. And when you sit down, and what I like to do before I create a vision board, I like to write down all my goals, all the things that I want to achieve. And this forces you to think, what do I want? What do I want to achieve? What are my goals? And by doing that, you expand your field of possibilities. And when you do that, you force your neural pathways to look for those opportunities that you might have not noticed before. Maybe you're meant for something greater. Maybe the universe wants to give you something big, but because you belittle yourself, you shrink yourself, and you think, well, maybe that's too much. Because you feel like you are too much, because you feel like your desires are too much. The universe is like, okay, I'm not gonna give it to you then, because you clearly don't want it. You're not ready to receive it, because you don't feel like you're enough to receive it. And this year, I'm still working on my 2026 vision board. I'm not holding back. I'm asking for everything and more. And know that there is nothing impossible, because if you can imagine it in your mind, if you can create a vision of it, then it is possible. Ask for more. The universe is not on a budget. Okay, let's talk about how vision boards work. because it's not just some magic trick. Doesn't mean that you can just slam a car on here and it will magically appear on your driveway. No, that's not how it works. Vision boards work because of psychological effects that they have on us. So let's talk a bit about psychology here. When you create a vision board, if you've never made a vision board before, you first collect pictures, but not just some pretty pictures, aesthetic pictures that you like. You need to be able to feel. You need to be able to imagine yourself in there. Because when we manifest the feeling, right? If we want a house, if we want a healthy relationship, if we want a car, we don't manifest the thing itself. We manifest the feeling of having the thing. So when you search for pictures, and what I like to do, I first, as I have mentioned, I write a list of goals, and then based on that I go on Pinterest and I search for pictures, and I choose pictures that really I can feel it in my, like I look at the picture and I can feel it in my soul, like this is it, like I can see myself having that thing, like I can feel myself having that thing, being in that situation. And when you chose your pictures, you created your vision board, you need to keep it where you can see it every day. I personally keep it right beside my bed, so every morning I wake up and the first thing I see is my vision board. So I take 5 minutes to look at my vision board, and I like to put different words and quotes as well, so that I look at my vision board and I remember why I am doing what I'm doing, and I remember my goals, and I remember to take even the smallest steps today, even when I don't feel like it, even when I don't feel motivated. Just taking a look at my vision board reminds me and inspires me to take that one little step toward my goals. That's how your vision board keeps you accountable, and that is why it's so important to choose pictures that really speak to you. So every time you look at your vision board, you're like, right, this is what I'm working towards. So I like to view my vision board not as a vision board, but as an action board. So let's say I wanna be healthy, I wanna stay fit, I want to have clear skin. I wake up in the morning, I look at my board and I think, okay, what steps I can take today to reach that goal? If I want to have a clear skin, I gotta go and wash my face and do my full skincare. If I wanna stay fit, I gotta put my workout clothes on and at least get in 10-15 minutes of movement. And then if I want to stay healthy, I go and have nutritious breakfast. Vision board is a constant reminder. It's a powerful tool for clarity and motivation. But vision boards only work if you do. And here's the harsh truth. I know, you came here thinking it's all gonna be dainty and cute. I'm just gonna create my cute little vision board and all my dreams will come true. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. You gotta work for it. But don't worry, I got you. I'm going to give you steps on how to stay consistent and not give up on your goals. First point that I made in the beginning of this video, motivation is temporary. We don't rely on motivation here. What we need is discipline. And there is no magic pill that will instantly make you more disciplined. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. So here are a few steps that you can follow to train your discipline. Design your environment so that discipline choices feel more natural. What I mean by that, for example, you want to be more healthy, you want to stay hydrated, you want to eat healthier. Before you go to bed, on your bedside table, put a glass of water. So when you wake up, the first thing you do is drink a glass of water. That will keep you hydrated. If you want to stay fit, if you want to work out every day before you go to bed, lay out your workout clothes. Prepare your workout shoes if you're going for a run or for a walk. This way you wake up and you already have all your clothes ready. So you just need to put them on and get going. this is the concept of taking care of your future self. So what is a small action that you can do now that your future self will thank you for? Set up a specific routine, a morning routine, a nighttime routine. The more you follow that routine, your body will get used to it. And your body will know, okay, this is our morning routine, so it's time to wake up our body. This is our nighttime routine, so it's time to slowly shut down. Start small and then build up. Don't stress your nervous system with unrealistic goals. For example, if you want to work out every day, don't set a goal, okay, today I'm going to work out for 2 hours, because your nervous system doesn't feel safe with that because you've never done that before. So you will procrastinate and you will put off the task. Instead say, okay, I will put on my workout clothes and I will stretch for like 5 minutes. And this is a great hack for whatever you're doing. Just tell yourself that you will do the task for 5 minutes, and then if you don't feel like continuing, if you want to give up, you will give up. But usually when we start, because the hardest step is to start, and when we start and we get into that flow, usually we want to continue. There is this book, you probably heard of it, it was really popular a few weeks back, Atomic Habits. I recommend you to read this book because it changed my life, okay? And I still to this day use principles from that book. And in that book, the author talked about something called habit stacking. It's when you first focus on one small habit, and once that's secure, you add another habit to it. So you kind of stack small habits on top of each other, and you end up kind of building a routine. So here are some examples. After I wake up and turn off my alarm, I will put on my workout clothes. After I put on my workout clothes, I will lay out my mat and prepare my workout equipment. The goal is to focus on the smallest habits that then link together. Balance is the key. Don't forget to rest and reward yourself for the hard work that you have already done. And this will make even the hardest tasks more pleasurable because you know that there is a reward waiting for you once you finish the task, and that gives you that dopamine hit. Remember, the most disciplined people are not those who strictly follow their entire routine, because that's just not possible. We're all human. Life happens. The most disciplined people are those who choose not to give up on their goals and at least take one small action, even on days when they don't feel motivated, they don't feel inspired, they don't feel well. They will still take at least 1, 2, or 3 small actions that in the long run will move them closer to their end goal. If you're still not planning your month, your week ahead, this is your sign to start now. I'm a huge planner girl. I have a whole video where I talk about how I plan my days. I will leave the link to that video in the description. How I like to do it. So I have a list of all these goals that I want to achieve in that year, right? And then I will break those big goals into smaller goals. And then I will think what action I can do every day that will lead me closer to achieving those goals. And what it does when you plan your days, it first of all gives you a structure. And usually we don't see the bigger picture, so we look at this goal and we think, wow, this is such a big goal. I'm not sure I'll be able to achieve this goal in just 1 year. But when you break that big goal into smaller goals, and then you break those smaller goals into actionable steps, you see that it's actually not that hard, to take those tiny steps every day, but those tiny steps will lead you to that major goal that you have. Another thing I want to start doing that I've never done before is keeping an accomplishment journal. The way our brain works, we tend to focus on the negative more than the positive. So let's say you've just had the most productive week, right? You've been very productive, you've been checking things off your to-do list, and then there is one day when you just feel so unmotivated and you feel sluggish and you've been procrastinating. You will focus so much on just that one bad day that you will not notice all the progress that you have done throughout the week. Keeping an accomplishment journal helps with that. Writing down all your wins, even the smallest wins, will act as a reminder that you're someone who is capable of achieving all those things. And just because today you don't feel like it, doesn't mean that you are failing. This shifts your focus from feeling ashamed and guilty to all the work and all the progress that you have made so far. And you realize just this one bad moment doesn't set you back. Something else important to note, and maybe I should have mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but if you want to achieve all your goals that you set for yourself, those goals need to be your goals. They need to come from your soul and not be ego-driven. And what I mean by that, usually we think that we want something, but we actually don't want it. We were made to believe that we are supposed to want that thing. We're supposed to want that career. We're supposed to want that money. We're supposed to want that relationship. Maybe because that's the story that our parents or people around us have been telling us. When I look at my list of goals I had for 2025, I don't even want some of those things anymore. And this is why it's so important to work on yourself, to discover yourself, because when you discover yourself, you discover what you truly desire, what your soul truly desires. The ultimate goal should be self-development and self-growth and working on becoming a better version of oneself. And it's okay if mid-year you decide that this is not something you want to pursue anymore. This is not the goal that sparks your soul anymore, and to change direction. This is why I don't believe in New Year resolutions and the whole concept of New Year, New Me and rebranding your life on January 1st. I can decide to rebrand my life on a random Wednesday because suddenly I had this awakening like, oh my god, I'm not the same person I was yesterday, and this thing doesn't interest me anymore, and I would do something else, and I'm not gonna wait for a calendar to tell me when to start. Stop waiting for a calendar to give you permission. Focus on becoming 1% better every single day, no matter what month it is, no matter what day of the week it is. It's what, the middle of December? Start now. What are you waiting for? What's gonna change in January? The number? But you know what's gonna change if you take action now? Your mindset. You will reinforce that belief in your mind that you're someone who says they're gonna do something and they actually go and do it. And they don't look for excuses, and they don't wait for a magic start date. That's when the real growth happens, not when you're driven by motivation. I hope this video was helpful. I hope I was able to inspire you to go and chase your goals. I wish all your dreams to come true. I love you, and I'll see you next time.